Alright, hello everybody. I think we should be live right about now. Hopefully chat will let me know, but I think we are. My name is PeteDorr, and I'm going to be doing a run of a very, very obscure 3D platformer on the Wii. It's a Wii exclusive. Never came out on any other platforms. Most people in chat have probably never heard of this game before, and it's full of skips and glitches, so we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We are live. We're good to go. Timing's going to start when I start a new profile. So I will do another countdown here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also, thanks to whoever donated for the donation incentive we had set up for this. We met it like yesterday. I think someone just dropped 50 bucks on it, but we have a special treat. There's something, well, okay, I'm not going to spoil it for people that are not aware of what the donation incentive was for this game, but there's something really cool about this game that we met the donation incentive for with cutscenes. So if you stay tuned for a little bit, we got to get a few levels in, and then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about and what the donation incentive is for. But trust me, it's worth the wait, believe me. So it starts off as a pretty standard 3D platformer, but as the run goes on, we get more and more abilities that start breaking the game completely. So the first thing we get is a grapple. As you can see, I'm using a Wii remote and nunchuck here. I'm aiming on the screen constantly to hit these grapple points. And as the game goes on, we're going to get other abilities, including waggle tech. There is waggle in this game, and yes, I'm going to be exhausted late at night here, but I'm going to power through it. So there's always fun new abilities that I'm always going to be unlocking. Keeps the run fresh. I get additional characters as well, so I swap between 3 different characters on the fly, and there's a lot of tech involved with that as well, because I'm going to be demonstrating it in a little bit, but there's a way to extend my jump height based on swapping characters while jumping. Okay, these grapple jumps can be a little finicky. If I get a little too far there, it'll drop the grapple and I'll die. But this game is very marathon safe in the sense that there's tons of checkpoints, so there's really no fear of starting a level over from the beginning. There are 32 levels in this game. Every single level, with the exception of only a few, are completely broken in terms of skipping straight to the end of the level, like some kind of out of bounds or some kind of exploit. So once we get past this level here, the game is pretty much going to be broken in a sense on every single level, with the exception of one. Yeah. Marathon safe, the opposite of Snowboard Kids. Yeah, but I injected some rules into my Snowboard Kids run to try and make it as marathon safe as possible. Alrighty, so we are gonna fall off an edge immediately in this level. Completely intended to reset me back to where I just spawned and not do the same thing. Okay, so let's actually do this the way I'm supposed to. Fall into this platform, hit a certain cycle here so that I can fall here, land on that platform. My health bar is actually the colored orb on the back of the robotic suit. So it'll go from like blue to green to yellow to red. And then after red, if I take one more hit, I die. So we've unlocked Mad Boy. Certain characters have certain abilities in this game. Mad Boy is the only character that can attack. And the girl is able to grapple. The boy cannot grapple. So you have to swap characters to use certain abilities. Alright, we gotta wait for the cycle. We didn't get here fast enough. And this jump here coming up is very deceptive. Gotta kind of hit a certain angle here, because it looks like you're gonna be going straight, but you're actually going down. Come on, unlock. And then we got our first little mini-boss battle here. You're probably noticing the aesthetics of this game. It's very Psychonauts, very Tim Burton-esque in a way. Many people like to compare it to. If you're familiar with the developers, Zoink, you might remember the game Faye, which came out, I think, a year or two ago. It's a really cool indie game. Also has a decent little speedrunning community. It's got that, like, little singing creature that flies around. Some of you might be familiar with it. It's from the same developers, so they went on... This game was actually in development for a very long time. Had like 10 years of delays before it finally came to the Wii, but yeah, they'd eventually go on to make Faye. So this is the first instance of like a really big skip. I'm actually going to play it safe here. Normally I wouldn't kill these enemies, but it'll make the skip a little safer, otherwise they really annoy me. So I'm going to be demonstrating swap jumping here. So if I constantly swap characters while jumping, we can eventually... This may take me several tries. This is one of the harder skips in the run. But by swap jumping, like constantly switching characters while I'm jumping in the air, it will give me more height than I'm supposed to have, and get over this electric fence, skipping the entire level. So there we go. Took a few tries, but that's pretty normal. It's a pretty hard jump to get. And I'm going to be using that throughout the run extensively to get to places and areas that I'm not supposed to be in. And I'd also like to use this time to invite anybody that's into 3D platformers, not even in a speedrun sense, to try this game out. This game is criminally underplayed. Nobody knows about this game, and it's worth playing if you're a fan of 3D platformers. When it comes to speedrunning, this game is sort of my baby. I was very happy when I first started getting into speedrunning about 3 years ago, and I discovered this game about a year into that. I was very happy to find a 3D platformer that nobody had dissected yet. Nobody had glitch hunted. Nobody had done a speedrun of, so this was free reign for me to do all the glitch hunting and skip hunting all to myself, and you know, I did pretty much 95% of the routing and glitch hunting that you're going to see in this run. So that there was a failed swap jump. I'm sequence breaking here, so normally I'm not supposed to obviously jump over here and then fall down here, skipping a pretty large portion of the level. Landing on that bush to avoid fall damage that would otherwise kill me, and going out of order here to collect keys in a different order so that way I can pretty much store a key and use in a portion of the level that lets me skip pretty much half the stage by storing a key that I'm not supposed to have. See if I can land that. Nope. Okay, that's one of the harder jumps in the game. But yeah, if you're into 3D platformer speedruns, please let me know. Hit me up on Discord. If anybody has any interest in speedrunning this game, I will make you a video guide for this. Like, even if it's just one person, please let me know. I will make a video guide if you're interested in learning this speedrun. The more people, the merrier that want to learn this. And there's a failed grapple for you, so we'll just try that again. Where did it start me? Ooh, a little punishing. That's okay. When it comes to glitch hunting, if there are any people that are really into glitch hunting, there are... Ooh, we got the ledge grab. Nice. That's really hard to get. There's still room for glitch hunting in this game, for sure. We recently had a member of speedrun community, Silas Simon, if you're familiar with him, find a huge skip for a level that saves 2 minutes, and I had tested this extensively in the past, and he found it. He was playing this game casually. I'm like, look, can you find me a skip in this level? He found it. It just goes to show you, more than one pair of eyes is always better for glitch hunting in a speedrun. So yeah, glitch hunters, let me know. This game is still got some potential. Anyway, so now that we've stored the keys, we are coming up onto one of the first cutscenes for the donation incentive that you guys met. So enjoy.
Hey, come here.
I won't spoil it for the first one.
Hey, what's up?
We saw Gorgle eat you, right? Yeah. Nobody has ever survived a challenge against Gorgle.
Yeah, we're heroes.
Really?
No. What's that hat about?
It's a Weeba hat. Brothers. Weeba, we are the underground sisters. We fight for freedom. You fight, we Weebas, all over and around. More forest Weebas leader. He watches over all.
And he knows who is bad and who is good.
So be good for goodness sake.
If this game wasn't weird enough for you, it's got musical and singing cutscenes. Hope you're ready for it. So once again, thanks for everybody that donated for that donation incentive. I was pretty excited to show these cutscenes off.
The reason we called you over here was to ask for your help.
So I'm gonna skip it there. I just kind of wanted to give you a taste of his voice acting. The voice acting in this game is actually pretty top notch. But yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna show off the musical portions of the cutscenes.
Thank you.
And we've got a few of those throughout the run. Really fun. Yeah, there are multiple singing cutscenes, but
Good work. Now grab onto the fish with the grappling hook.
there's plenty of cutscenes in this game, but there's only a handful of musical singing cutscenes, but they are worth it, okay? I just gotta do my best to remember not to skip them, because obviously when I do runs of this game, I'm always skipping cutscenes, and it's kind of in my muscle memory to always skip cutscenes, so I've got to be mentally prepared to not skip them. If I skip one, I'll probably just reset the level and do it again. Okay, so let's, I was thinking about going for a hard skip here, but I decided not to, because failing it results in death. Alright, so this is the first level with a major boss. I've actually never fought the boss normally. I stick to the left there as well to avoid a cutscene with those guys. When I first played this game casually, I immediately started glitch hunting it, and I've never fought the first boss normally because I skipped it on my first playthrough, so yeah, not even sure what the guy's like. So we're going to be doing... Oop, they almost knocked me straight into that water, which would have killed me. We're going to do another swap jump up onto this rock, which is what sequence breaks... Ooh, that's actually a really hard jump to get first try. Sequence breaks the boss, who is in there. We skip him entirely. I'm going to go for another hard jump here, swap jumping onto the top of this. Do it a couple more times. If not, we'll go for the tried and true way. Nice, okay, so getting that ledge grab and then unlocking my cursor here and jumping, I can grapple straight to the end of the level without going up the spiral stairs. Saves about 15 seconds doing that. 10, 15 seconds. Yeah, I apologize. This is my... If your OCD wants to get even more triggered, this is a Japanese Wii remote, and this is a North American nunchuck, so...
There are humans among us, dressed in the same...
So we're gonna see more from those guys in the future. They may or may not break out in a song or dance.
Weeba.
My cork locator device indicates...
We're gonna be doing some sequence breaking in this level in terms of jumping around the course in ways that we're not supposed to. Also, I want you to pay attention to this grapple point here for the future. And notice how I can't grapple it quite yet. Alright, so we're gonna grapple here, get a little closer. If it's red, I can't grapple. If it's black, I can grapple. So switching to the boy to quickly melee that, and back to the girl. Another thing about the girl and the boy... Oh, hold on, let me get back to that point. This is really tough here. Of course I missed it. So I need to jump and keep my cursor on that point mid-air and then grapple it as I'm jumping. Really hard to do. It's actually been quite a while since I've missed that. So of course it would happen in the marathon. Let's try again. Like I said, checkpoints are pretty generous in this game. So keep it on here. There we go. And then swap jump immediately to let go of that. And now we've got a shooting minigame, because it wouldn't be a Wii game without motion-controlled shooting galleries. So here I just gotta shoot all these floating drones. These enemies I don't have to kill, but I need to kill them so that they don't kill me. Because if I get hit by too many of their bullets, I have to do this over.
Look out for the other gun turret. According to my turret altimeter...
So we're gonna swap jump here. Get down from that without having to climb back down normally, and there's a couple more of these loudspeakers we need to destroy.
Good. Now there are 2 speakers left to destroy.
This one I sometimes forget about, because it's kind of out of the way.
Now destroy the last speaker.
Nice thing about this game, too, is the aesthetic of the levels changes constantly. So there's always new environments to check out. Visually, it's a lot of fun. For whatever reason, that grapple point, you can't grapple it without jumping. Really finicky. So normally you're not supposed to jump up on these rocks, but once again, the swap jump allows me to get up here and sequence break the level again, which saves quite a substantial amount of time. But the point that I was going to bring up earlier, before I interrupted myself, is that the girl, if you notice, moves faster. She has faster movement speed, so I will always be trying to swap to the girl during general movement instead of the boy. So this one here is 3 phases. And if I manage to take out every one of these drone things, little flies, whatever they are, and there's bullets coming at me, it'll still transition over to the next screen. So if I'm confident that I can destroy it before the enemies shoot me, I can kind of risk it and go for it. These sections make me so anxious. Come on. Almost, there we go.
Good work. You destroyed all the propaganda. Go back
Fall
to the
down here,
soldiers
swap
to
jump
get
to
your
these
banana.
trees, which normally is not doable. You're gonna hear me swap jump a lot in this. Okay, so now we gotta look up here. Oops. Jump, grapple. Oh, didn't swap. I thought it was actually gonna not allow me to do that. I didn't swap jump in time to let go. Kind of threw me off with the angle they gave me. Try that again, it's fine. There's a lot of tech in this game. The thing is, everything that you go for is generally pretty risky. It doesn't lose too much time, but anything that you fail is always going to lose time in this regardless, because the checkpoints will usually send you back quite a ways. Let's try and again swap jump that time. So I need to hit the C button on my nunchuck to let go of that. Swapping characters will detach me from that. Otherwise, the game locks you into it and won't let you jump off. So this skips an entire puzzle that I don't have to solve by doing it that way, by jumping on the trees. And now, remember that grapple point I told you to pay attention to earlier? Watch this. It's the only time I can do it in the game. For whatever reason, I think because I preloaded it earlier or something, I'm able to grapple across the level. Never happens again in the run. Yeah, that is a 3DO banner you see in the background. I love the 3DO. You may have caught my Dr. Hauser speedrun on GDQ. Or the horror game block from last AGDQ. I love my 3DO. Alright, Glitch Hunters, this level, by the way, there is a way that I can get out of bounds right at this door, which exits the level, but I cannot hit the loading zone. So this is the only level in the run after the first level that has no glitches whatsoever. So if you're in a glitch hunting mood, you would find what is potentially like the holy grail of skips in this game if you somehow manage to get out of bounds and hit the loading zone. If you need more details, hit me up. I'm glad to explain it to you. So yeah, we're gonna do this level normally. And spoilers, this level has another singing musical cutscene, so make sure you stick around for that. Gotta be very careful with these grapples. I'm like just barely making these, but the game is a little finicky. Like there's sometimes nothing you can do, it's just gonna drop you. Okay. So for this here, if there's any donations or anything that have come through, this would be a good time for it. The donation reader can go ahead.
Well, I would like to give a shout out to Brutal Dawn in chat for gifting a sub. That's pretty nice. And I would also quickly like to take the time to talk about the incentives which are coming up for the next two games, which are Ninja Gaiden and Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. For Ninja Gaiden Black, we have a donation or a bid war for the voiceover. You can either have the game in English or in Japanese. Currently, English is winning with $98 compared to the $15 of Japanese. So if you want to hear that, get some donations in for that. And for Pokemon, we have all sorts of donations. The most interesting one is you can choose between Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. Those are pretty close right now. It's 71 for Alpha Sapphire and 50 for Omega Ruby. And there's some more cool stuff. You can give a name for the Groudon or the Kyogre, depending on the game, or the Latias and Latios, depending on the game. And also, of course, the Mudkip, which you can also name if you have a very interesting donation idea for the name. So a lot of cool incentives coming up, guys. So if you want to get something in, this is like a perfect time for that.
Perfect timing, because we are just at the next singing musical cutscene. I'm going to be quiet. Enjoy.
I am Hunter Bunter, the king of guns. Everything I want belongs to me. I've got the vast collection that range from laser guns to monster weapons that destroy the world. Like this one, a liquid cooled and silence short-range gun. The automatic trigger is safety free. Its telescoping interface connects with my bionic eye, and it makes sure I'll never miss. He won't miss. He will never miss.
And there's a song between every phase in this fight. Alright, so first phase here is pretty simple. We are just going to dodge 3 of those, hit him 3 times, back up, dodge another 3. Okay. Gotta make sure I don't skip this. It's like in my muscle memory to always skip these. So now we've got to grapple him down. Nice, I got the quick grab there. That's pretty rare. Normally I have to wait for him to cycle back around here. This is Hunter Bunter, by the way. He's one of 3 brothers. They actually came from the core of the Earth to take over the world. They came out of the core of the Earth from New York City. And yeah, I mean, the story is pretty basic, and we find a scientist that kind of builds us this suit to stop them from taking over the world. Alright, so this one I want to lure him away from the center, because this way it helps me manipulate the direction that he will go after he shoots off his little rocket here. And now I know he will be heading towards the center, whereas if I was kind of running around in the center, it would be a little harder for me to predict which way he's going to go. And one more. I wish they would have really ran with this musical idea a little bit more. There's only a handful, but they're worth it.
I'll be the king.
That's a big word.
Okay, so there's no music there. We're just gonna skip that one. But there's more where that came from. Very important here. I need to make sure that I do not forget this key over here. If I forget this key, yeah, it's not good. It'll take me a bit to get back up here. So these orbs here that I'm collecting with my Wii remote, and yes, I'm aiming, I've just got it on my lap. It's just a little more stable this way. Anytime I collect one of those, it gives me health. So you can regenerate health from red back to yellow. And then if I cursor over these, it'll also refill health. This is also the area where I can get out of bounds, but unfortunately, once I'm out of bounds, I can't jump to the loading zone here. And I'm not sure if that's triggered by having the key with me or not. I've tried for hours, countless hours. I just can't do it. Maybe one day someone will come along and prove me wrong. Alright, so this is the level where we get the dog. We won't meet him because I'm going to skip meeting him and just go straight to the end of the level, of course. But after this, we still gain the ability to use him, and that's where things start getting even more interesting in terms of movement and speed and being able to flip through walls using the dog. His name is Rex. We're going to come over here. Hopefully this dog doesn't knock me off the ledge. Careful. Come over here, dog. Yeah, he made that a little difficult for me, but it's okay because dying here will despawn him. And will make it a lot easier for me to do this time. So normally I'm supposed to go around, meet the dog, solve a puzzle, get a key for the switch here to open this gate, but yeah. We just jump around the back. And normally she's supposed to grapple there. She just didn't want to grapple. The grapple in this game is a little finicky, so let's try this again. Okay. There we go. So yeah, we just skipped pretty much the entire level. There's one more decent skip coming up here. Normally I'm supposed to go up here, solve a little door puzzle, but if we unlock my aim, I can just grapple the endpoint right here without having to worry about any of that. And we move on. And just you wait, the waggle is still coming. There's another ability I have to unlock, which I won't spoil quite yet. But there is going to be waggle, indeed. We now have access to the dog. Unfortunately, I don't really use him too much in this level for movement, but I will be using him to unlock these safes. So these are randomly generated every time you start the game. They are unfortunately not static. So that means every time I do a run of this, I have to take my time and actually do them carefully. We're going to take care of these enemies so they don't bother me as I do this next one. And anytime that I'm the dog, it also makes any of the other dog enemies friendly to me. Gotta be careful here. You can actually hear the unlocking sounds coming out of the Wii microphone on the Wii remote. It's not gonna pick up on my mic though. Come on. Tried to get that second grapple to skip this first one. Didn't quite work. Alright, we're gonna be shooting the moon out of the sky. I start with the tip. Because this is when there's the least amount of enemies on screen, so I try and aim for the hardest to hit section of the moon first. Then I move right down to the next one. So ideally what I want to happen here is have the enemies kind of like align with my cursor. So that way I don't have to go too far out of the way like here to shoot them. So it wastes as little amount of time as possible. I can only take about 2 strings of bullets from the enemies, 2 bursts of bullets, so for marathon safety, I'm not really going to give them many opportunities to shoot me. Where normally in a run, I'd probably risk it. Ooh, this is going to be close. I get it? We got it. Almost died there. I'm also going to take this a little safe too. Normally I'd kind of do a long jump here with the dog and get down here a little sooner, but sometimes it results in my death, so we're going to play it careful. Get this cutscene. Catch this cycle. Nice. Also going to take this enemy out. Normally I would kind of just hang out here on the boxes, but I don't want... Sometimes he hits me and knocks me off this ledge, and it's really trolly. Unfortunately I missed this cycle, which means I've got to wait another cycle here. See if I can get this one. Nice. Grapple. We get this part for the rocket, which is going to be our escape to the end of the level. Now here, I need to be extra careful, because if I fall, it's going to spawn me on the platform that I was just on. So I'm not going to try and do anything too fancy here. We're going to play it nice and safe. If you're looking for, like, optimal tech and optimal movement, I would be switching to the dog and, wow, that was a blind jump if I ever saw one. I would switch to the dog and, do I want to go for that? No, we'll wait. I would jump with the dog. But that's incredibly risky, and that's only if you're going for, like, every ounce of time save that you can get. Alright, so this level is home to one of the hardest tricks in the game, so I'm going to make sure I don't mess this up too much. So I'm going to get up here onto this platform. This is going to skip the entire level. That's the end of the level there in front of me. And if I can jump with the dog as I run off the platform and pretty much run like mid-air, we got it, nice. But now I've got to be careful here. These enemies are very trolly and they can shoot me and kill me as I wait for this platform to drop. Gotta try and dodge them as I wait, and they can still shoot me while I'm here. Nice, getting that first try is very relieving. I can get walled there for a little bit. So now, when it comes to movement, for the most part, I'm going to be using the dog. He gets very fast, though, because he has sort of like this second or two buildup. And once you meet it, like you see here, he moves very fast. And if I use his fast movement and jump at the same time, he does like a jumping lunge, which is the fastest movement in the game. So fast, in fact, that it will break certain levels by allowing me to clip through walls. This is supposed to be a maze that takes you a while to get through, but obviously since I know the path, we just come right up to the exit with the key. Grabbing that door I don't think is intended. I guess they just never thought that you'd grab that and come right up to the exit. Alright, one of the longest levels in the game here. This one's going to take a little bit to finish. So we've got to use a new ability with the boy here, and we're going to reflect this shot back at the target. Switch to the dog for a little bit of faster movement, hopefully without getting shot off the platform. Wait for this tank to turn around and kill him, because he's going to shoot me as I'm opening the safe. And we just want to do this peacefully. Gotta take my time on these. One of the worst parts of the run, unfortunately. And I've tried, I've never been able to find a way to clip into these or get the key in any way without actually solving it the way it's intended. There is a way to fast cycle that and grapple this the second that you swap to the boy and hit that switch. But it is a very hard trick. Alright, I just need to focus here for this jump. This is another really hard trick. Let's try that again. Whoa, let's try that again without getting shot and walking off the platform. That one enemy is a real pain. The idea here is if you see this little tower there, I'm going to be jumping to that tower. Skips a very large portion of the level. Normally they expect you to go all around. And nice, we got the landing. Okay, on to the boss.
Stop!
Alright, so the idea with this boss, I'm going to be collecting approximately, I'm going to get 30 of these for safety. There are multiple phases to this boss, and the general idea of what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to be trying to zerg through all the phases of the boss at once. So I use the easiest and safest phase to gather these balls, and then I will aim with the boy and throw all the balls at him non-stop, skipping through cutscenes, and it will essentially allow me to bypass the harder later phases almost instantaneously. As long as I keep my Wii Remote pointed at the screen, it will never break where I'm aiming, so I can kind of just go straight through the fight with minimal effort at the end. You'll see what I mean. This is a good spot too if there's any more shoutouts or donations or anything that needs to be read for about the next minute.
Sure, I would gladly do that. So, for everybody in chat, quick reminder, if you look at the bottom of your stream, it says sub goal, which is currently at 566 out of 800. So, what this means, our partner and sponsor HyperX is matching up every subscription or every sub point in the chat with $2.50. So, for every sub in chat, we get an additional $2.50 from, like I said, our sponsors. So that's a very easy and great way to help this marathon. Also, of course, gift subs also come in huge here if you already sub, or if you still have that Amazon Prime, or rather the Twitch Prime subscription left for this month, feel free to leave it here, because we would greatly appreciate it. And if we could actually hit that 800 sub point goal at the very end of the marathon, that would be absolutely amazing. And just a quick thank you for everybody who has subbed so far or has gifted some subs. We really, really do appreciate it. Back to the run.
Nice. Yeah, so if you saw there at the end, I kind of just zerged my way through the end of that boss by just keeping my Wii Remote pointed at the screen and made easy work of him. Alright, this is the level where we're getting that extra little bit, a bit of speed tech, and it is by far the most game-breaking thing in this game, so we're gonna get it in this level. I'm gonna keep it a secret for now. It's definitely not what you're expecting. It is the waggle tech, though, so, what would I be waggling for in this game? Well, you'll find out. We're gonna do a little bit of sequence breaking coming up here, though. So there's an electric gate that I'm never going to lower, because I'm just gonna skip around it. First, we got another safe to open with this dog. Luckily, there's not too many more of these silly safes in the run. Oh my goodness. Okay, try again. So we're supposed to go around, collect a bunch of items to help that blow up, well, I'm going to leave the voice acting as a surprise for you. It's not a singing cutscene, but it is a short little cutscene that I want to try and show off at the end of this level as well for the incentive. But he's got quite the voice actor. Or at least it's a sound-alike. You'll see what I mean. So yeah, we're going to go back up here and climb around the edges of this. Normally you're not even supposed to be here yet, but I've used the dog to jump across the gap and get an item that normally the game would send me backtracking to get now anyway. But we skipped that phase. We got it all done in one go. They lowered the gate, but we're already done there. We're going to pick up the ability, and here it is. Get ready for waggle. Make sure I'm not going to slam my mic. We got a ballerina ability, and yes, I have to waggle this hard because it drops inputs like crazy. So if I don't waggle this hard, it has a tendency to drop inputs like it did right. Gotta waggle a little harder. Come on, game, don't do this to me. You gotta have a strong waggle game for this one. Alright, so let's see.
I feel like new, ready for my long-awaited comeback.
We're all for your comeback, Ivan, as long as you show us...
Oh, sister, I'll show you my moves. Check out my super
Stop,
duper double
Ivan,
dribble on the
please.
flip side.
You said you would show us the way out.
I don't know the way, but there's this mystical mojo voodoo guru guy. He's the man.
Can you take us to him?
Does a Botham have hemorrhoids? Okay.
Not a singing cutscene, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you the weirdness in the characters and the voice acting. It's quite a video game. Just wanted to show that one off. A lot of people liken the voice acting to Chris Rock for this character. Alright, so shoutouts to Silas Simon, as I mentioned earlier, who found this incredible skip for this level coming up here. Used to have to do this level as intended, but no longer. I'm going to be showing you a really cool skip. Oh, nice, we got that grab. Okay, that's really tough to get. That saves me the trouble of having to try and climb up here. That, nice. Now, the new skip. Normally I'd be going around this level, getting keys and jumping across gaps for like 2 minutes, but now if we come here with the dog, gain full movement speed, jump straight through the wall and end the level. When I jump in there, I angle slightly upright and it hits the loading zone. You just need to make sure that you're jumping at a very specific point in the level.
Looks like you'll have to do some
It's a really nice skip. Didn't swap to the girl in time. Alright, we'll play this a little safer. Let's just go. We'll go straight to the waggle tech. So I make sure that I lift my Wii remote so that my sensor can see it very clearly, because, believe me, there's been some frustration in runs of this game with dropped inputs from waggle. This level 2, I'm also able to do this a heck of a lot faster, but it's pretty punishing if it drops an input here, so we're gonna try and do this nice and safe. Nice, okay. It's not too unusual for me to fall at some point in this level. Also, just listen to these buttons and what they're saying. They're quite the character. Pay attention to them the next time they're here.
Wow.
Child-friendly, you say? Okay. Well, we've got a cutscene later, too, that I'm going to show you. Now, look how big this level is, right? Look how gigantic this level is. I think the first time I played this game casually, this level took me like 15-20 minutes to beat. But no, we're going to come over here, we're going to swap to the girl, we're going to do some waggle tech, we're going to twist and twirl our way up the side of this wall, if the game will allow me. Got to get a very specific joystick movement here, do a couple of grapples, and we come right up to the end of the level. Bypassing what is probably the longest level in the game. So yeah, the twirl, I guess they've never tested the interaction between twirling on certain walls and ledges, because it just allows me to pretty much go, in most cases, wherever the heck I want. Alright, my favorite setting in the game. I really like the colors in these levels. Gonna jump straight down here. Got a little bit of tricky platforming coming up in this section here.
Transport the seed fruits to the lab. Well, I know if you can
Okay, try again. Because once you get down there, there's really no easy way to get back up. Luckily, the checkpoint here is quite generous. Okay. Switch to the dog. We gotta do some eavesdropping. The audio comes through my Wii Room microphone. I don't think you're gonna hear it. I don't think you guys can hear that, but we're eavesdropping to get a passcode for a safe. Gonna come up over here. I can get back here without the code, but it does not let me even attempt to open the safe without it, so... Would be a nice skip, but it's just not possible. Get our key, and we're out of here.
Me, I'm a bad little button.
The button's like punishment and pain. There's two different ways I can go about this next skip. I'm gonna go for the newer method, and of course fail the newer method. Go for it again though. Go for it again. It's actually been a long time since I've done the old method, so I'm probably better off doing this one anyway. Get the twirl up. Okay, that's what I gotta do. And I gotta slip and fall here onto this invisible wall down here. Skips a very large portion of the level going around solving a bunch of puzzles and whatnot. We come down here, get a disguise, which is just literally a bag on our heads. Ride the elevator up. Skipping a level that involves a lot of going around and getting more keys and whatnot, talking to other NPCs. And then come on up in here, and we end the level. And holy moly, it looks like we got a bomb of gift subs. We'll let the donation reader... First of all, thank you, Nerf Me. That's really awesome. Appreciate that. If you want to thank him for that as well.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. NerfMe_MH for the 10.
Alrighty, so we are going to just be twirling our way up here onto this little pipe and coming straight to the end of the level. This is a very long level when it comes to going around. You're supposed to destroy a bunch of security cameras, as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, but just a simple little twirl up the side of the wall, and yeah, we're going to be avoiding all of that. Alright, let me just... gotta focus on these locks. They're a real pain.
Take me, little man. Make it head.
Alrighty, it is time for the hardest skip in the game. This one is like seriously one of the hardest things I've ever had to learn how to do and then make consistent in a speedrun. See if I can waggle my way up this wall. So normally I'm supposed to go around here and hit a bunch of grapple points. As you can see, they're all around the level here. This wall is really finicky. But if we can waggle up this crevice, it should get me up to the top of the level eventually. The waggle strats. We'll get up there. Ooh, hate this checkpoint. That's unfortunate. Yep, I was hoping they wouldn't hit me out of the level, so that's also a thing that can happen. Yeah, I appreciate that, Nerf Me, thank you. Thanks for helping the marathon out. Alright, let's do it this time. So, the one thing about waggling in this is, it is really finicky when it comes to going up walls that you're not supposed to go up, so sometimes it will kind of like lock me into a falling state and there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, we're skipping a huge portion of this level by climbing up that wall. As you can see, there's a lot of robots. You're supposed to activate them and climb them in all different ways. I'm not going to be doing any of that. Alright, and now it's time for the hardest trick in the run. Let me just do this first try and explain it afterwards. Hopefully. Oh, almost first try. Okay, so you can kind of get a sense for what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to blind jump around this corner and waggle my way and twirl around the corner here and land on the platform that is behind this locked door. Okay. This may take me quite a few tries. Hopefully I get it soon, but this is way faster than doing the level as intended. Nice. Okay. Switch to the dog to get out of that state. Third try, I am really happy with that. Actually, just the other day, as I was kind of continuing my practice for this in the marathon, I found a bit more of a consistent way to do that trick. It used to be run ending. For example, I did a run the other day before I tried to find a more consistent method. I was ahead by 5 minutes on world record pace, and I lost 8 minutes to this split because of that trick. 8 minutes. Obviously the run died, but it just goes to show you how long I can potentially get walled on that trick. So getting it third try tells me the new consistent method works. It's still a really hard trick though. Essentially by jumping with the dog and reaching the max speed and jumping and immediately swapping to the girl and doing some waggle tech, it'll shoot her up in the air and then I have to carry that twirl around the wall. And there's many portions where it will potentially drop me. All you need to know is it's hard. Anything involving wee waggle is always a challenge. Alright, another level where we're going to do a lot of sequence breaking here. I have to stand specifically on this piece of metal, otherwise I can't get up this wall. Using very, very specific joystick movements here too. You actually have to know what you're doing with the joystick movement here in order to make it up that ledge. If you don't know the specific movements, you're going to get stuck there for a long time. Here I'm twirling up, and I'm going to get to a checkpoint right there, and if I load the checkpoint, it's going to put me on top of this platform. It's a little risky to not take a safety checkpoint there as well that I didn't go for, because if I die, I have to start pretty far ways back. And now we're going to take our time doing this very dizzying platforming section. Then we're going to fall down in here.
Boys. I give you the Zookalizer!
So that's the key to our secret weapon of mass destruction.
I got a notepad thing here that I also need to keep track of because I usually always skip these cutscenes and I need to remember which ones.
Alright, watch this.
Okay, no music here. Gotta make sure that I'm not skipping a music cutscene because I definitely don't want to do that by mistake. Alright, there will be music after this boss though, and it's a good one, so get ready. This one here is pretty simple, it's a record player. I'm going to be swapping to the boy, and doing a waggle attack, which is an AoE move, which I have to hit these green pipes 3 times each. Don't do that. Come on. Come on. Alright, and we'll also have time after this next musical cutscene, if I can not die here. For any more shoutouts and donation reading. See, Nerf Me is sub-gifting up a storm in chat, my word.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, enjoy the cutscene.
I wanna feel good forever. There has been a mighty change. Funky beats, dabba dabba dooba da da. Oh, this makes me feel so cool. Dance with me, sing along to Dr. Roon's song. Everybody, clap your hands, stamp your feet, sway to the rhythm of love. Love and peace, the only way to freedom. Together we can reach the skies. No more wars, dabba dabba dooba da da. Love will make the world go round. Groove the funk. Hold your hands. Love the dance. Feel the trance. Roll your guns. Hug the trees. Love your friends.
Alrighty, that's the end of the musical. We're gonna skip the rest of the cutscene. It gets a little dark and depressive, that cutscene. We don't want to kill the mood after that wonderful song. Play the game yourselves to see what I mean. But yeah, if you want to fit in any shoutouts or donations or whatnot, now's a fine time. Just gonna be skipping to the end of this level, pretty much. That's all you need to know. I'm gonna skip the entire level.
Yeah, of course, I would love to. I mean, so first of all, of course, a big shout out to Nerf Me in chat, gifting like 40 subs by now, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for that. And we also got a donation here, $25 from The Big Show 56, just saying, "You got this, Pete." Thank you very much, guys, for the donation and for the continued gifting in chat. We really do appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you, Nerf Me. Really appreciate it. So yeah, that level was really big, and just twirl my way across the final. You're supposed to activate a bunch of gears that will make the gears spin at the end there, so that you're eventually able to cross it. It's like a 10 or 15 minute level normally, but I just twirl my way right to the end of it. And same thing with this. First time I played this level, I didn't even complete it normally. I just went immediately to trying to break it and skipping straight to the end by bypassing the gates just by jumping around them. Nice oversight by the developers. And make sure I don't jump into them. And we've come up to the final shooting gallery part of the game. And it's a pretty easy one. I do need to be careful of my health here, though. Okay, but as long as we destroy that last gear before I get hit, we are good. And that's the end of that level. As you can see, this game is very fast-paced. It's like just a lot of rapid-fire skip after glitch after level skip after tech. I mean, it's just... There's a lot to try and commentate here with these levels. They fly by. Alright, this is one of the few levels that has no skips or glitches. Pretty much just going to be trying to get to it to the end of it normally. There's a couple little tricks I can try and do, but I'm going to play it as safe as I can here. This section in particular, I might die on, if this enemy is not being kind. So I can just grapple straight to that point right there, but it's a little risky with the camera and the enemy that keeps shooting me. It's usually not worth it. And we're gonna also take this one in the intended way. Okay, that jump can be a little tricky with the camera that they give me. Also, camera controls in this I'm handling with the D-pad on the Wii remote. The camera work with the way that the game tries to adjust the camera for you is really bad. So I have to pretty much do all the adjustments manually. We're getting to the end game too. We're heading toward the final stretch of levels. I gotta be ready to not skip a certain cutscene, which is coming up soon. Okay, so this level here, another level that's normally quite long. Supposed to go around, open a bunch of doors, find a bunch of keys, but if we come over here, hit a checkpoint, load the checkpoint, despawn all the enemies, and then come over here with the girl, unlock my range of view. Jump. Grapple. Don't even have to activate these switches and gears. We just come straight up to the end of the level. Another cutscene. Normally, I'm just going to show there's a whole cool section that goes on in this giant hourglass, but instead we're just going to come over here. We're going to crawl up the side of this door, try and get this as well, hopefully not fall, and hit the end of the level. If I were to fail that out of bounds, I would actually have to restart the whole level because it glitches out entirely if I fell down. Okay, this is where I need to not skip a cutscene. Enjoy the final, unfortunately, singing and dancing cutscene. So once again, thanks for hitting that incentive.
King of production. Nobody bosses like me. The faster it winds, the better it rhymes. I am Dick Von Talk. Play that song, boys. Schedules and deadlines, obey them. No time to fool around. 'Cause if you do, no mercy on you. Kiss your life goodbye. My three factories are producing all the guns I need. I run along my evasion plan. The world is mine any minute now. So I am speeding up. I am Dick Von Talk.
Going out on a high note. Alright, another level where, you guessed it, we are not doing this the intended way by going around the outsides of the level and climbing up all those platforms, because we're just gonna twirl our way right up here and skip all of it. Makes you wonder how much playtesting went on in this game. Alright, this boss, my favorite design, probably my favorite boss in the game, also because it's got a cool little backing track. Just gotta avoid the hands of the clock, get onto these springs that raise up, and switch to Mad Boy, hit the bell, and rinse and repeat. Gets gradually harder. I find staying in the center to be the easiest way to avoid the hands, because the next phase, things actually get legit pretty hard. Especially if the platform is going to raise slightly away from me. Ooh, like there, I missed it. Haven't missed one of those in quite a bit. But, it is pretty difficult to make it there in time sometimes. There we go. Ooh, careful. One more to go. Ooh, careful. Ooh, I might not make that. Oh man, that was something. Didn't expect to make that. Quickly did a swap to get there in time, and somehow grapple it.
Excellent work getting that.
Alright, another really long level where I'm just gonna be twirling up here, hopefully.
Good thought. And the
Come on, you can do it. This is a little hard sometimes. There we go. Just had to get the right position. I'm gonna grapple these as they're going into the wall and watch where I go. It's gonna warp me to the other end of the level, all the way up here. So normally I'm supposed to go through a gigantic level and gradually work my way up to this point, but by grappling and going into the wall at a specific angle and timing, it warps me up to what's pretty much the end of the level. Not frame perfect. No, it's not frame perfect, but it's a pretty tight window. So as I take these hits from the tanks, I'm just going to be collecting health here, making sure that I'm refilling my health. Also, there's not too much going on until the end of this level. I'm just going to go through here normally, meet up with a giant golden metallic monkey, and end the level. So if there's any more shoutouts, donation reading, now's a good time.
Yeah, of course. I would quickly like to remind everybody that there are actually some cool prizes you can win by donating. We have a lot of cool stuff by HyperX. For example, there are 3 wireless headsets you can possibly win by a minimum donation of $25, or a HyperX Pulsefire Dart wireless mouse for $20, or the game, what's called the mouse pad for $15, or the French indie game bundle, which is also very nice, for also $15, which are, by the way, cumulative and not like a single donations. Can get in
Right.
like the small ones. Yeah.
So like any good speed game, there is of course a lot of skips in this game, but it's not a good skip unless it's a skip that saves you a minuscule 20 seconds for getting it, and failing it loses you over minutes. So let's see if I can get it. And it looks like I may have it. She needs to slide off of here and not die. Nice. I've been pretty consistent with that lately. So that trick there avoids having to go through another extra loop of running around this level. Failing it, though, makes me restart the level from scratch. So it's a pretty risky skip that I go for every time. But I have lost some runs to failing that one too many times. And now we are into the final 2 levels of the game. The waggle is about to get real hard in this next boss. Pretty creepy level. Pay attention to the backgrounds in this stage. Kind of scary. Because we are in the core of the Earth right now. This is where the invaders, those alien brothers, came from. So if you check out the background, it's kind of creepy looking. Giant, sort of, I don't know what they are. Giant statues, actual living things, I don't know. It just looks creepy. Also, I hope you enjoy the music, because I think they kind of ran out of a budget. Ooh, yep, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Sniped off the grapple. I don't know if they ran out of a budget, but this is the only song pretty much for the rest of the game, for the next 2 stages, including the final boss. Let's lure this enemy away from that grapple point. Okay, he's not moving. We're good. So yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't do any more music for this game after this point. Not sure what the creative decision was there. Especially for the final boss. It's kind of a dull song to have. Oh boy, the final boss. One of the worst bosses in video game history, by the way. But we'll get to him next. Pretty cool level, though. Never have to visit down here, we just take an alternate route. Second to last boss is going to reside up here, and it is a waggle fest. Okay, make sure I don't get hit off the ledge by that guy. Wait for the flames to come out. Go in the second flame phase. And there's one more cutscene after this boss that I want to show off that is not singing, but it's worth seeing. Okay, so we want to waggle our arm off here. Now, it can drop inputs, which can kill me. Dying here makes me start this boss over on whatever phase I was on. Sometimes it just drops the waggle input, and I'm out of luck. Now, I can continue to waggle and hide behind one of these tubes over here, and I will never get hit by anything that he throws at me during these phases. I choose not to do that because I value my arm. My arm is not fit enough to be waggling for 10 minutes straight. So yeah, I choose the play it like you're supposed to method here. Yeah, I haven't waggled my Wii Remote enough in other Wii games to work up to it. So we gotta gather these little robots, come over here, hit his hand, opens up this grapple point, grapple up there, switch to the boy, waggle attack, swap back to the girl, and start waggling again. And hope for no dropped inputs. Once again, see, and there it is. Did you see me waggling my Wii Remote? I think I did. I don't know, what about you? So those are the dropped inputs that I'm talking about. Where the game just sometimes doesn't think that I'm waggling hard enough. Okay. Let's try not to die again. Luckily, it doesn't restart the fight from the very beginning. It just restarts it on the phase that you died on. Ooh, okay, be careful. When it's in red health, if I wait a little bit, it will eventually regain back to yellow, which allows me to take 2 hits. The dropped inputs are really aggravating in this fight, because obviously you lose quite a bit of time if you have to redo an entire phase of this fight. So yeah. It's one of the reasons I don't run this game as much as I would like to, is because of this boss in particular. It's very aggravating. And also tiring. I'm gonna move and see if that helps it instead of standing still. Come on. Okay, be careful. The final phase shoots rockets, the little rocks, and the blue laser. Oh, no, no, no. No! What the heck even hit me there? Okay, we do it again. The game wants me to show you a little bit more waggle. It's fine. It's only like 2 a.m. in the morning. I can handle it. It's bosses like this, though, that unfortunately make me give a pretty generous estimate. Ooh, okay. Get that health back up. There's still one more level, so this is the second to last boss. If you think this boss is hard, I mean, terrible, wait until you see what the last boss is. It's one of the worst bosses I've ever fought in a video game. It's a real shame, because the game, if it would have ended on this boss, would have been great. Alright, so this is not a musical singing cutscene, but I want to remind you that this is a game targeted towards kids. Enjoy the cutscene.
What happened?
Mine! Mine! Mine!
No, stop it!
Yes! At last! You pests have a wonderful death!
Oh yeah, they kidnapped the dog at the start of this fight, which is why we didn't have access to him.
Son of a... You son of a... I'm no good! Read my lips! I'm good! I'm evil! You hear? I'm evil! Stupid! This is just so unfair, you month!
Hunter Bunter!
What?
Thanks for the candy. That's really sweet of you.
So she's supposed to go around and like elicit sort of like nice emotions from these guys to capture in her gun or something. So that's the end of that pretty much. Just wanted to show you one of the oddest cutscenes in the game. Alright, so we're coming on to the final level here. This is a huge gauntlet. Huge gauntlet. This level is quite long. And it is bookended by an even longer final boss. Not my favorite of levels. Come on, grapple that. Grab it. Why are you not grabbing that? Normally not this hard to get up. Oh, what the heck? Well, that's never happened before. We are stuck inside of the box. Time to reload a checkpoint. Never thought I'd say that with Core Gang, but I've never seen that before. Come on. You can get up there. Whoa. These are some new interactions, okay. Almost makes me wonder if I can have that shoot me across the level. That would be cool. There we go. Forgot that I needed a swap jump for that, was the issue. Thought I can get up there with just the girl.
We'll have to get to the top of the cannon.
Alright, so we gotta grapple across here.
System to amplify the Zekalizer.
It's a set of different sort of little gauntlet stages, most of which involve grappling. And luckily the grapple has been pretty kind to me so far tonight. It gets a little laggy here too. Just swap to the girl. A little bit more waggle. This is one of the last times you're going to see me waggle in this game. Alright, this part here, legit hard jump coming up here because of the camera angle they give me. Have to get this jump first try. If I don't jump on the first swing, it's almost impossible to get across there. Okay, nope, we gotta do this again. Try to get across here without ever touching the ground, otherwise these enemies spawn, and they cause some problems. But we got across. Alright, last checkpoint in the game before the final boss. This is the final gauntlet. This is really trolly, because if I die here, I have to do this again from the start. And I may or may not have had a run the other night, a new world record that was pretty much flawless for the entire run. And may have died at the very end of this gauntlet and lost over a minute in an otherwise almost flawless run. So yeah, this is something that you definitely got to focus on. If you're looking to save the most amount of time, you'd swap to the dog here and run through here, and then swap back to the girl to jump over obstacles. But yeah, I'm not going to do that in a marathon. The thing that makes this really tricky is at the very top of the spiral, where it spawns these things from, it continues to spawn them right as you get to it. You're going to see what I mean. And it can be really hard to avoid getting hit. Right here. See how it continues to spawn stuff as I'm right next to it? If it hits me with something, it will continually combo me until I'm dead. So the fact that I got to run there first try is really nice. Now it's time for the final boss. This is quite the dumb final boss. So the idea is there are 4 phases. If I die on any phase, including the 4th phase, I have to start this boss over from the very beginning. Very beginning. Every phase again. It's pretty easy to die. So this is going to be a moment where I'm going to have to focus a little bit. Even though it looks pretty trivial, the phases get a little harder. The general idea is you have to wait for him to drop his hose. This hose will drop, I have to climb up on him, make sure the enemies around are stunned. Now it's dropped. Swap to the girl, jump up on the hose, switch to the boy, hit him 3 times. Or more like 6 times. Skip the cutscene, swap back to the dog, and hope that he does not spawn any enemies with ranged attacks by me. So this is going to repeat for 4 phases. This will be the last time in the run to fit in any more donations or shoutouts, so if you have any, now's the perfect time.
Of course, of course. Also, some people in chat might not be aware of this, but we have our own merchandise. You can head over to www.speedrunstore.com, where you can find some amazing ESA t-shirts or the very, very comfy ESA hoodie that you have been seeing a few people wearing throughout this marathon. I have like both of them and I can recommend them. They're super comfy and super nice looking. And of course it also helps our marathon here, our ESA. So that's also one way to support the entire event here. So if you want some cool looking merch, head over to speedrunstore.com and buy some of that cool stuff.
Alright, so the thing I need to be most careful of, you're noticing this ranged enemy with the tank has taken notice of me. That's really bad, because if they continue to shoot me, any of these ranged enemies with machine guns or cannonballs, if they hit me one too many times, I'm going to die. And I definitely don't... I'm actually going to play this extra safe. In a PB attempt, I'd run over to him right now because the hose is dropped. I'm going to play this very safe and wait until he cycles back to me, because this way I know the enemies that are around me are currently stunned, without having to try and stun the enemies on the other side of the level. Alright, so this is final phase. Okay, don't die here, please. Okay, that was close. If I took one more hit there, we'd have to start this from phase 1. So this phase, the final phase here, takes about 2 minutes for him to drop his hose. So the only thing left that I need to be very mindful of is just making sure that he does not drop any ranged enemies in my proximity that can shoot me. I've tried to find ways to make this, like, make him drop his hose faster. I just can't find it. So unfortunately, we just got to sit here and wait for him to eventually drop it. And I'm going to use the safe method as well of waiting for him to fully cycle around. Because if I start running through this stage, it's just a non-stop bombardment of enemies coming at me and tons of lag. It's a terrible final boss, though. I mean, listen to the music. It's the same music as the same stage music as this level and last level. There's no climactic final boss music. It's the same 4 phases over and over. I think it's just like a tech demo where the developers were like, let's just see how many enemies we can fit on screen without breaking the game or lagging it. I think this is what they came up with. And also the fact that, unlike other bosses in this game, there are no checkpoints between phases. So, yeah, dying on this boss is... it's terrible. Shoutouts to Give Me My Wonton, who was on world record pace for this last year when he was doing runs, and the batteries in his Wii remote died during this boss, and he lost world record to dying batteries in his Wii remote. Sorry, Tom. Yeah, no more waggling. Like I mentioned, it's one of the worst final bosses. It's just... there's no waggle, there's no fun music, there's no sing-alongs or anything. It's just this. Alright, time is going to be coming up here as soon as I hit him the 6th time. Here we go. Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Hold on. I'm dead. What's my in-game timer? I can't believe they killed me. Oh no, wait!
Score!
We killed him?
What are you?
Oh no, this is restarting the fight. What's my timer for the run? Because I don't want people to have to sit through all 4 phases of this again. I'm okay with
116.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's currently at 1:16, so you still have like 10 minutes.
Are we ahead of schedule?
Yes. So
Okay.
feel free to keep
Yeah,
going.
we'll go again. Great demonstration of how garbage this boss is. So what happened there was, obviously there's so many enemies on screen that you can't stun everything because the range is so limited. Yeah. Probably the worst part of this entire run. Dying on the final part of the 4th phase of the final boss. I wish the final boss was better. It kinda kills the run. Nothing I can really do about it. I just had to kinda risk it. So yeah, if at any point you get anything else you want to read off for donations, feel free to interrupt. But for now, we're just gonna be hanging out, growling, waiting for him to drop his hose. Why don't they kill some enemies? Why don't I kill some enemies? Too dangerous. It's too much. It's not safe whatsoever to go around and try and kill enemies. Because the amount of things that come at me, and trying to stun the things with ranged attacks and the limited health that you have in this game, it's just too risky to attempt to kill anything here. This is by far the safest method for trying to take down this boss. Ooh, see, like here, I'm almost dead already. Gotta be mindful of the range. Gotta be mindful of this tank that is currently stalking me. Okay, we should be good. If I do die on this attempt, though, we'll mercy kill it. I don't want to have to put anybody through the torture of watching this boss again. Oh, Jesus. Careful. Okay, hose is dropped. Let's see if I can get over here. The lag is... I should not be running this way. I should be running counter. But I've committed to this. Okay. Don't kill me. Alright. This is the last phase, I believe. So we've just got to make sure that nothing's going to shoot us here. So far, this looks like a good spot. I think this is 4th phase, right? Should be. Yeah, this is probably the one thing that I didn't want to go wrong in a marathon run of this. Ooh, no, someone's sniping us. Also, the green goop, I can't jump in that. So I've always got to be paying attention. That tank is determined right now. Should come after me. Okay, I think nothing is aggroing me right now. No, he is still shooting me across the level. Okay, we got to stay on the move. And he is still following me right now. That is the little tank that could. Look at him. Don't want to create too much lag here by aggroing too many enemies, which I'm totally doing right now. But yeah, killing in this is not reliable. The only thing that can do it is the boy character, and it's just a basic melee attack for the most part. There is a ranged attack, but it just leaves you open too much. It is really unsafe to try and kill stuff here. Okay, drop your hose, please. I have lost many a good runs to this boss. And you can see why, okay. We understand, developers, you wanted a tech demo for how many things you can fit on screen. We get it. Oh, oh. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of enemies coming towards me. Okay, he dropped his hose. We gotta look for the opportune moment. I'm thinking we just keep luring these guys this way. Now we make a break for it. Here we go. This is it. End time. I hate that boss. I really hate that boss. The power of the weight. Yep. So that's the end of the run. Thank you very much to ESA for allowing me to show this off. This is actually the first time I've ever shown this in any marathon, any online marathon, any in-person, nothing. It's the first, like, decently big showing that this game has ever had outside of my community, so it's been a pleasure to finally show off the fruits of my labor for this game. I put in so many hours glitch hunting and routing this game and finding all the cool tricks and skips, so it's been a lot of fun to finally show it to more people.
The Crank brothers were finally defeated.
Like I said, hit me up in Discord if you're interested in this speedrun. They also name drop Bill Gates in these credits, by the way, if you listen closely. Highly recommend this game casually. Great casual game. It's cheap. It's not too rare. It's really cheap to get on eBay. It's a good speedrun, good casual game, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the run. And whenever you want to transition over to the next runner, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, before we do that real quick, I just want to give a last shout out to Nerf Me, the absolute legend in chat who gifted 50 subs throughout this entire run, which is absolutely amazing, which pushed us over the 600 sub point mark, by the way, so that's a big pog. And yeah, thank you very much for the run. We're going into a quick intermission and setting up for Ninja Gaiden Black, which is going to be very awesome. And I'm also going to sign off, and when we come back, my buddy Agama will take over the donation reading. So stay tuned, guys, and we will be right back.
Finally reunited with my brother Morfar.